Here we have a new 2023 Ford Mustang Mach-E. This one comes in the Select trim level with rear wheel drive. This color is Vapor Blue Metallic. And then we have the Onyx ActiveX interior. And the powertrain consists of that rear mounted electric motor mated with a 70 kilowatt hour battery. And that gets us up to 247 miles on a single charge. But as we come around to the front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with LED daytime running lights. And I just love the looks of the Mach-E, specifically the Select trim California Route 1. The premium's nice, but I feel like for the money, this just looks a bit more sleek in my opinion, because the lights are a little more, I guess a little less aggressive than the more premium trim levels. But down here we have 18-inch aluminum wheels. And then our charge port here, we can get up to 115 kilowatts DC fast charge speed, a little less than that 150 that you get with the extended range battery. The passive keyless entry on all four doors. And over here to the door panel, unlock, lock, and then we have our electronic rear window lock and child locks here. And then we can turn our power mirrors on and off and adjust either side there. And then one touch automatic up and down windows on all four doors. And that's how we open the door there. Bottle holder. And then over here we have our max defrost and headlamp controls are here. Traction control button and then brightness for the gauge cluster. And then here, hit that twice and then we can pop the hood. But here's our 8-way power driver seat with 2-way power lumbar support. Huge shout out to Ford of Franklin for allowing me to review this Mustang Mach-E. I'll leave a link below in the description. But let's take a quick look at this window sticker. And then stickers right at $47,795. Let's take a look at this rear leg room. I have that seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs. Let's check this out. So pretty good legroom in my opinion just for this vehicle. I have one of these myself, and when I sit behind my partner in the driver's seat, I can fit back here no problem with a baby on that side. So now rear AC vents are here, USB-C, USB-A, charge duo there. And the middle seat folds down, bottle holders there. Grab handle, and then I like the hooks on these. You could probably hang 2 plastic hooks or a few metal hanger hooks there. And I do like that we have the seat back pockets on both sides. But let's make our way towards the back. Now I do love the stance of this vehicle from the back. We do get the LED tail lamps. They don't flash like that. Again, that's just my camera, but just a stunning look all the way around with these. I think these are one of the best looking EVs on the market. And then trunk space back here, tire inflator kit and all that's underneath. And then we do have sections over here on the side if you don't want to worry about things that you want in the back not sliding around. You can use those pockets there. And then a 12-volt. And then my California Route 1 also has just a manual lift gate, which I actually like better than that power lift gate. It gives it more of like a real hatchback feel in my opinion. And then to put the seats down, push this button here. And then when the seat's up far enough in the front, that'll fold flat. And then just make sure the seatbelt's out the way, and pretty easy to just snap it back into place. Now I will say the only issue I have with those seats, I have the same ones again in my Mach-E, is you can't recline them. So it's kind of hard to get that seat. I should say my baby has longer legs and it's hard for her to fit back there comfortably. So I don't use my car for road trips, but we have a 4-way manual seat here. Love the storage pocket underneath here. I use that quite a bit. Glove compartment, pretty good size. But as we come back around to the front, let's just go ahead and take a look in the front area. Love this Vapor Blue Metallic, by the way. It sparkles so nicely. But pretty good storage area here. I tend to put my charger in here whenever I need it, and then if I need work stuff to go in here, I can swap that out. And then windshield wiper fluids right there. But let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So I love the ActiveX wrap steering wheel. Feels nice, grip is good, and it just makes it easier to drive this the way it should be driven, in my opinion. But to the radio here, we get XM, FM. We also have the built-in navigation system here, and you can just type in a destination and set up your homework, whatever, and then you can start typing and it'll auto-populate suggestions and all of that. And the system's pretty easy to use. I like it. You do get wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto along with this system, so that's what I use. I don't really use this navigation system. I've used it a couple of times and it gets the job done. I just prefer the maps on, well, Apple's maps better. So hit that home button and then you have all of your shortcuts here, tire pressure monitors, charging, and then of course you can set this to charge to a specific percentage or departure times and all that, locations. You can set all that up there. And then if you ever want to go through your drive modes, it's in this controls button, in this controls section, excuse me. Then you have whisper, engage, unbridle, and then you can toggle the automatic brake hold there and one pedal drive as well, which I tend to keep on 99% of the time. And then to add your Bluetooth, just add phone, and then
search for your vehicle on your device and select it once it is found.
It walks you right through it. And that lady on there loves to get the last word in all these Ford systems, but whatever. The driver assistance here, so you do get adaptive cruise, and you can change that from adaptive cruise to normal, and then lane centering as well. Which I actually like having that as opposed to the full-on Blue Cruise, because the Blue Cruise can be a bit intrusive, but. And then if you want to change your weight units, temperature units, language, all of that can be changed in there. And then software updates, valet mode, all that stuff too. Now for your climate controls, you do get dual zone automatic. And then to change all of that, the easiest thing to do is to go in here and then you can adjust the fan direction, heat, power, all of that, and then you can adjust the actual temperature there, and then you can turn the dual zone on and off here. So you can cut that on and off, and then you have 3-stage auto mode, so you can set the temperature to get to where you want to be at a high fan speed, medium fan speed, or low fan speed, and then hit that. And then when you do that, you can adjust your fan speed here on the dial, and then your defrosters are down there. Your backup camera, guidelines, follow you, turn the steering wheel. And then you do have a front camera if you start getting too close to something. And then USB-C, USB-A charge ports, wireless charging pad on the left side, cup holders. And then this is your navigate to parking, hazards, electronic parking brake, pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down to disengage. And then your shifter, rotary, reverse, neutral drive, low gear. And when you don't have one pedal drive on, that just maximizes your regen. And then your armrest here, you can pull that up. Storage here, 12 volt, pretty good sized storage compartment in here. And there's a view of the back from up here. And then here we have the sunglasses holder. Get the dome lights. I think the heat just came on. I think I hit a button or something. Or it might just be super hot out here. That makes more sense. And I think it was just the fan speed went off. But anyways, to the steering wheel, blinker, and high beam toggle there, flash, windshield wiper controls. It's one time, and then you have your auto, low, high, and then your auto sensitivity for the wipers can be adjusted there. Then your rear wiper is off, intermittent on, pull back for rear wiper fluid, push up for front wiper fluid. And then You have your adaptive cruise toggle here, or normal cruise, whatever you have it set to. Turn the whole system on and off there, gap adjust for that, and then your lane keeping system on and off. Set your speed, and then voice recognition, Bluetooth, volume, and then you also can go through your track list, radio station presets there. And if you're a gauge cluster, that's pretty much what you get for the most part. Not a lot that you can configure there, but that's why your tire pressure monitors and all that is on the screen. But there's your push button start. Finally, here's your key fob. And next, let's take this standard range Mach-E Select out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Mustang Mach-E Select, pretty similar power curve that I'm used to in mine, having the California Route 1. Now we don't have the extended range battery, but it's still pretty good acceleration. And of course, having an EV, I take this road all the time for the test drives I do at Ford or Franklin, and it's just different taking this with an EV because it's almost silent in here. And the sound acoustics in the Mach-E's are actually pretty good. A lot of people say that they tend to be loud, but I mean, you don't have an engine helping drown out the wind noise, so you're gonna hear stuff come in the interior, but for the most part, even with that, great sound in here. And it's such an easy vehicle to drive. One of the reasons I love mine. Now your ride quality is not the best, but this is meant to be a Mustang. It's not meant to be an Audi e-tron, so it's gonna drive like a Mustang. You have that stiffer suspension, the sportier suspension. You're pretty low slung to the ground, and especially in the sport mode, you can feel the road like nothing. One of the best driving cars in my opinion, because you feel everything, but you're still just very agile. This has, it's a little tail heavy when you put your foot into it, but the traction in these is just incredible. A lot of that having to do with the low center of gravity, having that battery down here. But this is just in the regular drive, or the whisper drive mode, excuse me. So I feel like whisper to me is more of your normal mode, and then your engage is a sport mode, and the unbridled is like a sport plus mode almost. So if you're looking at it from that Mercedes perspective, that's kind of what the drive modes are. You don't really have an eco mode, because even in whisper mode, it's pretty quick. As you can see. But we're gonna put it in unbridled because that's really where I tend to keep mine 95% of the time, because you can be, I mean, you can maximize your range with that. It just makes the pedal that much easier to put your foot into. I mean, unbridled, you floor it, and it's quick, man. It's so quick. Now in the Select here, again, you have the 70 kilowatt hour battery. You just have the rear mounted electric motor, still just super quick. But I like the Select because, like my California Route 1, you don't have all the extra controls, but you really don't need, I shouldn't say you don't need heated seats, but that'll help probably with your range because you won't have to utilize the HVAC so much. But all in all, if you do daily driving with this, you'll probably never get that return on your investment as opposed to going up to a higher trim level. Unless maybe you're in California or something when the electricity's rather high, but here in Tennessee, it's still pretty cheap, even as more people start going electric. So unless you're going on a long road trip, you need to maximize your range, it's still not that big of a deal running your HVAC, running your heat, I should say. But another great thing about the Select is I love the glass roof I have in my California Route 1, but not having one here just keeps it cooler during the day, especially on a hot day like today. Now, one of my favorite things about the Mach-E is even with the basic powertrain, having the smaller battery and just the rear-mounted electric motor, even having the extended battery with the rear-mounted electric motor, having the slowest model, it still puts a smile on your face. Every time I put my foot to the floor in mine, it's so exhilarating. It's so much fun just having that instant torque. And we're definitely going to test that out here as we take this one on the interstate here momentarily. So another good thing about EVs is you don't have to necessarily break in the motors, so we're just going to punch it. I mean, the thing's so quick, and these hug the road. Even with rear wheel drive, they hug the road like nothing. It's like being in a go-kart. We're gonna put the cruise on here. Then lane centering is on. And that's how you can tell it's on, is when the circle is all the way around. And yeah, I really wish, I said earlier that the blue cruise is kind of intrusive, but this is doing the same thing. I hate how they put the sensor right here because the sun gets in the way and it blinds it all the time. And then it's telling you to watch the road while you're sitting here looking at it like, what are you talking about? And it's just, it's a nuisance, but it does keep you on your toes. But for people like me who actually pay attention while they're driving, I feel like this is not, I feel like you have a different market than your average Tesla driver. No offense to them, but I tend to pay a lot more attention than a lot of other drivers on the road. And I just know that from personal experience. But I think I'm more considerate as well, but I just wish that they either put this somewhere else or it wasn't such a hassle to deal with. Especially just going in a straight line, telling me to watch the road after 5 seconds. That's probably my biggest pet peeve about the Mach-E's, other than the radio. The Bluetooth doesn't always like to connect when it's supposed to. But this is still my top 3 EV option as of what I've driven right now. That's why I have one. But for $48,000, I do think the Mach-E Select is a pretty good option. I think you still get half of the EV tax credit on top of that. And it still has all the acceleration. The range is pretty good. Looks great, especially in this Vapor Blue. And it has all the tech that you could want in a 2023 electric vehicle. So with that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2023 Ford Mustang Mach-E in the Select trim level.